Hello students, so welcome back to the channel. Now next topic we are going to discuss about growth rate. Now what is growth rate? The increased per unit time, okay? How much growth is occurring per unit time, that is known as growth rate. Okay, so this is one definition question area you should know. It means you can express it mathematically. You can see it calculative also. See in this first diagram, if you see here, you are finding that one cell is dividing into two. We have started with the two cell. Now check it is three cell, then four cell, five and six. So every time one cell is becoming permanent and only one cell is dividing. Is it clear? This is becoming permanent. This one, the one which is less shade. Less shade is permanent and out of the two which is dividing, see here, first of all two are dividing. Okay. So one cell became permanent, only now one is retaining the power of division. I'll do one thing, I'll highlight it with another color. So this became permanent. Okay, this is permanent one. This one is dividing into two, then this is again becoming next permanent. So every time when one cell divide into two cell, then one cell will become permanent and only one will retain the power of division. Again one cell will become permanent. This is already permanent here. Then only one cell will retain the power of division. This is already permanent, and again this become permanent. And again, this is the way division is going on. Is it clear, beta? So from one cell, it becomes two cell, three cell, four cell, and five cell. So this is known as arithmetic type of growth. But in case of geometric, each and every cell retain a power of division. Means one cell is dividing into two cells. Then these two all both are dividing again to form four cells. Then each cell is again dividing to form eight cells. This is the way how we say where every cell is retaining the power of division, we say geometric growth, and only one cell retain the power of division, then we say arithmetic growth. Now try to understand the diagram very carefully. If you see this zygote, if you check this color, each and every cell is dividing, it means it is in the geometric phase. Geometric phase means when all cell divide. Is it clear? Now, slowly see one thing carefully. If you have studied in the plant anatomy chapter, shoot apex or root apex. So that apical cell, apex area is only having a power of the geometric division. These are showing geometric division. But slowly, when they are going for permanent, they are making three germ layers. This is your dermatogen, this is your peribelum and plerome. Okay, so slowly they are switching to arithmetic growth, means they are becoming permanent and they are going for means they are going for differentiation and they are becoming permanent. So from this diagram based question is asked, his zygote is going for which phase initially? Then your answer will be zygote is going for geometric phase. Is it clear? Then it will be there कि shoot tip is having which cells? Shoot tip is having the geometric cells. And the tip cells, now they have switched to the arithmetic phase where only one cell will retain the power of division and slowly one cell will go for maturation. Is it clear? Now in arithmetic growth, after cell division, only one daughter cell continue to divide while the other differentiate. Is it clear? And the best example is root elongation at a constant rate. This is again question area. If question is given ki root elongate means root growth is there, then which type of growth is it? Arithmetic or geometric? Then your answer will be arithmetic. Ki root elongation at constant rate. And now when you plot a length of organ, see here, you are taking the height of the plant against time, then you are getting the linear curve. This is again question area. And the formula is LT is equal to L naught plus RT. LT means length at the time T, particular time T. This is at the starting, let us assume 0, and how much time rate is taken. R means it is growth rate, means elongation per unit time. Is it clear, beta? Now see what happened in this is your arithmetic growth is over. This is with respect to the arithmetic growth. Now we have to focus with the geometric growth. So first of all, in geometric growth, there will be three phases will be there. Initially, phase is very slow. That is known as lag phase. The first phase is slow phase known as lag phase. Let us see the diagram properly. See here. This is your lag phase. Check in the diagram, which is slow phase. Then it increases rapidly, means exponential. Then it is going for exponential or log phase. So exponential is also known as log phase. So I'm writing it here for your learning. This is slow and here it is rapid increase. Here both the progeny cells following mitotic cell division, they retain the ability to divide. It means which type of division? It means it is your geometric division. Clear beta? And continue to do so. However, because of limited nutrient supply, it slows down and it leads to the stationary phase. So stationary phase means slow phase. Again, it is slow phase. So lag, log and stationary. Three phases are there. Number one is your lag phase. Number two is your log phase. And number three is your stationary phase. So three phases are there in your geometric growth curve. So you are getting a diagram of S. Check you are getting the diagram of S or not this way. So this is known as sigmoid growth curve, which is typical of cells you will find in the culture plate. You will find it. You will find in the many higher plants and many plants organ will show these types of growth curve. If we plot the parameter of growth against time, we get sigmoid or S curve. And it is a characteristic of living organisms which are growing in natural environment. Again, this is an important question area. Which type of growth is seen in the organisms which are growing in the natural environment? Your answer will be geometric growth, or you can say which curve. If they ask you, then your answer will be sigmoid or S curve. It is typical for all cell, tissue and organ of plant. Is it clear? Now, the formula for this is W1 is equal to W0 e power RT. So W1 means it is a final size. Size you can consider by the weight, height or number. And W0 means initial size. R is growth rate here. T is time and E means base of logarithm. So R is what? R is a relative growth rate and is also measure the ability of a plant to produce new material, which is known as efficiency index. Again, this is a question area. What is efficiency index? Ability of a plant to produce new material, that is known as efficiency index. Is it clear? I hope up till here you are able to understand the topic. Now see, the question is given here, ki what kind of curve we will get, what kind of curve we expect in the tree which shows seasonal activities. So first of all, the trees which are showing seasonal activity, they will not show S curve. Is it clear? Please highlight the question carefully. They will not show the S curve. The one which are going for seasonal activity, they will not show S curve. They will show the curve with small steps indicating stoppage and again start. So I'll draw the diagram here. Try to understand. It will be this way. Stop, again start. Stop, again start. This way it is there. So it is a stoppage and again restart for every year it will be. So they will not get proper growth curve. They will be stoppage and again start, again stoppage, again start. So I hope up till here topic is clear to you. Now see, if you have to take the growth, you have to measure the growth rate. So two type of comparisons are there. One is your absolute growth rate, another is your relative growth rate. Understand this diagram A, check this first diagram. If you see, this is the initial size of a leaf, that is 5 centimeter. After it has grown, it has become 10 centimeter. So what is the difference? Difference is of 5 centimeter and initial is also 5, and when you multiply by 100 you will find 100 percentage it is showing the growth. Okay, now here check carefully. Here it is initial is 50, it has become 55. The difference is of 5, initial is 50 multiplied by 100. Is it clear? So you will find here only 10 percentage. So if you see carefully, this is the formula for the relative growth rate. If you check, both are showing absolute growth rate same. absolute growth rate is same for both the leaves. Okay, both the leaves are showing increase in size only of 5 centimeter per square. So there is same for both leaf. But relative growth rate, that is different. For A leaf, it is 100% and for B leaf, it is only 10%. I hope you are able to understand what I am trying to explain you. Both the leaves are increasing only 5 centimeter per square, but that is absolute. Okay, absolute is same, but relative, so for relative, what is the formula? Difference divided by original, whatever size is original is there, multiplied by 100, that is your relative growth rate. So because of this calculation, you are finding they are different. So now see, measurement and comparison of total growth rate per unit time. If you are calculating what is a total growth rate per unit time, it means you are calculating absolute growth rate. And if you are calculating growth per unit time expressed on the common basis, if you see here, understood? Per unit time expressed on the common base means initial parameter. Then we say it is relative growth rate, means you are doing comparison. You are doing comparison by from the previous account, how much increase is there. Then you say relative growth rate. Now, if you see here, they are telling it also, who is having high relative growth rate? Can you tell now? Who is having high relative growth rate? Your answer will be this leaf is having high relative growth rate. Okay, why? Because if you see the difference is only 5 and original was only 5. So both are showing same growth, absolute growth rate, but relative growth rate is higher of A as compared to that B. Is it clear? Now let us go to the next topic, that is conditions for growth. See, first of all, water, oxygen and nutrient. These are very necessary for growth. Why we want water? Because the size of the cell can increase. Cell grows in size by enlargement. And for enlargement, they want water. When the cell is turgid, it means it is showing extension growth. So again, one definition, please remember what is extension growth means. Growth in the size of the cell because of the absorption of the water. Water is taken in by the vacuole by the process of osmosis, and cell goes for elongation. So plant growth and further development is linked to the water status. It means growth is there and as a result development will be there, because after growth there will be maturation, and development is sum total of growth plus differentiation. And water is also necessary because it is working as medium for many enzymatic activities. So water role is clear. Now we have to highlight the role of the oxygen. Now the oxygen role. The water role is clear, I think. So first water we have discussed. Now we are discussing oxygen. Oxygen, if you know, we require in respiration. Oxygen is used in respiration. As a result, energy can be formed. So oxygen helps in releasing metabolic energy, which is necessary for all the growth activities. Now, third is your nutrient. Nutrient can be of two types. If they are required in the large amount, we call them macronutrient. Or if they are required in the small amount, then we say micronutrient. And they are essential. Means without it, the plants cannot survive. So nutrients are required by the plant for the synthesis of the protoplasm, you can say, for the synthesis of protoplasm, and it's also source for energy. Because you know energy means ATP and P means phosphorus, so they want to make ATP, they want phosphorus. Now, every plant organ, apart from these three minerals, please, it is very important, learn this conditions. First is water, second is oxygen, and third is nutrient. We have understood what is the role of water, we have understood what is the role of oxygen and nutrient also. So in addition to this, they are having temperature also. And if any temperature you are showing deviation, obviously it will affect their survival. Okay, so next is your temperature. Now, another question area. What are the environmental signals which are necessary for growth? So environmental is your light and gravity. They affect certain phases or stage of growth. This is again very important question area. Is it clear? Now see what is differentiation, de-differentiation and re-differentiation. For this I'll give one presentation, try to understand. Whenever meristematic cell, whenever meristematic cell becomes permanent, when they become permanent, then we call this process as differentiation. When meristematic cell become permanent, we call differentiation. And when permanent cell again become meristematic, that meristem is known as secondary meristem. That is known as secondary meristem, and this process is known as de-differentiation. Okay? And when this secondary meristem again become permanent, so I'm drawing it here properly, check it carefully. And when they again become permanent, just like you have studied your secondary xylem, secondary phloem, then we call this process as re-differentiation. If you know the cells which are derived from root apical or shoot apical meristem or cambium, they differentiate and they become mature. So this process is known as differentiation. When the cell become mature to perform some specific function, we say they are going for differentiation. And during differentiation, they undergo few, or you can say major changes. Just like we say collenchyma, only hemicellulose and pectin deposition at the corner. But for sclerenchyma, full secondary wall is laid down of lignin and the cell has to become dead. Is it clear? Both you will find the changes in their cell wall as well as protoplasm. For example, to make trachea elements, the trachea elements include tracheids and vessels. The cell has to lose their protoplasm and they have to develop very strong elastic lignocellulosic secondary cell wall. So you have already studied in anatomy chapter, the secondary cell wall is laid down of the lignin. Is it clear? And the primary cell wall is of cellulose. Why they are doing it? So that they can carry water for long distance, even under extreme tension conditions. Tension conditions means when it is very hot season is there and the plant are continuously losing water by transpiration, then also xylem can provide the water. Is it clear, beta? Now, plant shows another interesting phenomena. Living differentiated cell means permanent cell that by now they have lost the capacity to divide. They can regain, again, they can regain the capacity under certain condition. Then we call this process as de-differentiation. Is it clear? For example, the formation of meristem. Which meristem? Interfascicular cambium and cork cambium. They are made from fully differentiated parenchyma cells. So now see one thing, beta. This is your dicot stem, pericycle, I am drawing it. And this is your vesicular bundle, which are conjoint, collateral, and open. Open means this is cambium is present. Understood? Now the cells of the medullary rays, they will go for de-differentiation. Cell of medullary rays will go for de-differentiation to form. See here, these are your cells of medullary rays. They are going for de-differentiation to form interfascicular cambium. So this is your interfascicular cambium. Clear, beta? So this much is clear. Now see, this was your, let us assume this is your cortex layer and this is your endodermis. So in the cortex layer, you are finding again de-differentiation of the cork cambium. This is cork cambium which is made. The cork cambium is made in the cortex region and interfascicular cambium is made by the secondary medullary ray cells. This is made by the medullary ray cells and it is made by the cortex cells. So I hope this much topic is clear to you. While doing so, such meristem tissues, they are able to divide again and they will produce a cell that once again lose the capacity to perform specific function, and we call it as redifferentiated. I think so. List of all the tissues you might be knowing it were the products of the redifferentiation. If you want, I will write it for you here. Just give me 1 minute. Let us write here. See, I'll write it. This is your pith. Then this is your primary xylem. This is secondary xylem. This is vascular cambium. This is secondary phloem, primary phloem, pericycle, endodermis, okay, primary cortex, secondary cortex, cork cambium, and cork. Now, which are the products which are redifferentiated and which is dedifferentiated? Just 1 minute. So this is your vascular cambium, which is made by the process of dedifferentiation in which area? Interfascicular. But this is completely made by the dedifferentiation only. And learning tips is this way: on the either side of cambium, every time it is redifferentiated product. This is redifferentiated product, okay? Redifferentiated, redifferentiated. Remaining all are made first time only, so we will use word differentiated. Up till here, it is differentiated. This is also differentiated. But on the either side of cambium, you have to remember redifferentiation. Is it clear, beta? This is the way how to learn the concept carefully. Now see tumor. If suppose tumor means what? Tumor means uncontrolled growth of cell division. The tumor is nothing, it's a product of de-differentiation. What would you call the parenchyma cells that you would make to divide under controlled lab condition during plant tissue cultures? And such, you will not say they are actually going for a here we have already studied that growth of the plant is open. It can be indeterminate also, okay, or determinate. Now we may say that even differentiation in plant is open. So we know till here, up till here, what we have studied, that growth is open, and now we are saying even differentiation is also open, because the tissue which are arising out of the same meristem can form different structure at maturity. Is it clear? Please, it is very important. Till now what we have studied, that growth is open, okay, and now we are saying differentiation is also open, because they can arise from the same meristem. They can become collenchyma or parenchyma or sclerenchyma, and they will perform depending upon the location also. So final structure at maturity is also determined by the location where they are present. If the cell is positioned away from the root apical meristem, it will differentiate as root cap. Now one which is pushed towards the periphery, it will work as epidermis. Is it clear? So growth is open, even differentiation is also open. Now let us start with the development. Development means all changes which an organism is going from germination of the seed to the senescence. Now let us see this as diagrammatic representation. See here, meristematic cell, they are going for plasmatic growth. Plasmatic growth means protoplasm is increasing and cell can divide. Again, they are going for. But if suppose they go for differentiation, so they will go for differentiation after elongation phase. They are going for differentiation. When they go for differentiation, they become mature. And when the cell become maturation phase, they become mature cell and finally senesces to the death. So this is how to study from meristematic cell your plasmatic growth. Plasmatic growth means then expansion. After expansion, differentiation. After differentiation, maturation. Then they make mature cell and senescence leading to the death. Is it clear? Now see, plant follows different pathway in response to environment also, as well as different phases in the life also. And which phase it is there means it can change the shape of the leaf. It can change with respect to the environment or with respect to the whether it is in the juvenile or adult. And such changes are known as plasticity. For example, we will find heterophyly. Hetero word means different, phyly means leaf. We will find different types of leaves in cotton, coriander, and larkspur. In such case, leaf of juvenile plant is different from the mature plant. See the diagram. Cotton, coriander, larkspur, in these cases, juvenile leaf is different from the adult. Is it clear? On the other hand, you're finding the difference in the shape of the leaf because of the air and water in buttercup. So it is showing heterophyly due to environment. So heterophyly is of two types. One is your developmental heterophyly. So developmental heterophyly means difference in the juvenile and adult leaf. Example, cotton, coriander, and larkspur. And another is your developmental heterophyly. Sorry, Vita, not developmental. Sorry, this is mistake. It is environmental. Is your environmental heterophyly. An environmental heterophyly example is your buttercup. Is it clear? Buttercup is given. So these are the examples you have to remember. And buttercup is also known as ranunculus. So these are the cases of the plasticity. So I hope up till here your concept is clear. So we can see growth, differentiation, and development, they all are closely related events in the life of a plant. Development is nothing, it is a sum of growth and differentiation. So development is nothing is equal to sum of growth plus differentiation. Growth and differentiation together is known as development. So development in plant and is under the control of intrinsic as well as extrinsic factor. So let me give you one presentation here. See, development, intrinsic factor, so that you can learn it easily. Intrinsic factor are your intracellular, and your intracellular is your genes. Then is your intercellular, inter means in between, okay? Intercellular, and your intracellular is your PGR, PGR. So see here is control of intrinsic factor, and intrinsic factor include intracellular means genetic and intracellular means PGR. Now, okay, now see here, it is extrinsic also controlled, and for extrinsic, light, temperature, oxygen, and nutrition. So your development is under the control of, so I think so this much is clear. Okay, development is controlled by both intrinsic factor as well as extrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor includes your intracellular genetic factor and intercellular PGR. And extrinsic factor includes light, temperature, oxygen, and nutrition. So I hope this topic with respect to all your line of your NCERT, this topic might be clear to you. Thanks for watching.